Hi, everybody. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a good Wednesday night. Let's see. My computer is acting up just a little bit, so I want to make sure that this is working before we get started. Let's see. All right, I think it is. All right, hi, everybody. Great night. My name is Maddie, and tonight we're going to be doing a mindfulness activity for Wellness Wednesday. And that activity is called Paint Sample Emotions. So we are going to be talking about how we're feeling today. So I want us to just take a minute here and think about how you're feeling right now. So I'm just going to take a minute to see how I'm feeling. I think that I am feeling pretty happy tonight. I'm feeling a little bit stressed, but I'm also feeling pretty happy. So I want you to take a minute to think about how you're feeling. And let's think about some other feeling words that we might be feeling. So you might feel happy, you might feel sad, excited, maybe angry, or maybe something totally different, kind of an emotion in between all of those things. So, whatever you're feeling, you are very much welcome to come explore those emotions and feel them using paint samples tonight here with me. So, these are paint samples. You might have seen them at the store before. Sometimes they're at places like Home Depot or Lowe's. If you've ever been somewhere that sells paint all by itself, they might have those too. You can even get them online now, I think. So we're going to be using these and a marker. I have a Sharpie, but if you're worried that that will get on your hands and stay, you can use any marker or a pencil or a colored pencil. Those would work as well. So these are our two supplies, is paint samples and a pen. And we're going to be expressing and discovering our emotions tonight. So I wanted to talk about first why we are using paint samples. So as you can see, this paint sample has three colors of green. And one's a dark green, one's kind of a medium shade, and another one is a light green. And I thought, as I was at the store, that these really would represent emotions well, because sometimes you're feeling just sad, but sometimes you're feeling a lot more sad than other times, or a lot less sad, but you're still feeling that emotion. And so I thought the three different shades of color could talk about how much of a feeling you're feeling. And I have all these different colors to represent multiple feelings. So this one would be, like I said, well, let's see. I would probably use blue for sad, and the middle one would be just regular sad. But you might feel less or more of that sadness. So that's kind of a quick description of what we're going to do, but we're going to dive much further into it tonight with these paint samples. So let's get started. Like I said, before we begin, make sure you have all your supplies ready. And there's not very many, so you can use as many paint samples as you want. You could just use one. You could use, I think I have 5 here, or you could use a whole bunch if you'd like. And a pen. And you can get these for free at those stores I mentioned before, so they don't cost any money. And some might have a lot more colors than this. You could always cut them to be just 3, or you could add even more words to them, because that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be writing or drawing the emotions onto the paint samples. Okay, so let's get started. First, we are going to decide what emotions we want to write down or draw. So I have 5 paint samples, so I'm going to choose 5 main emotions. So 5 emotions that are those more typical feeling words. So happy, sad, excited, those kinds of words. So take a minute and decide how many emotions you'd like to be discussing tonight and kind of delving into. And once you've decided how many, we're going to decide which colors we want to use to represent those emotions. So I am going to start with yellow because I'm going to put happy on this one since that's what I'm feeling tonight. So, I'm going to use yellow for happy. I think I'm going to use my blue for sad. I'm going to use red for anger, or sometimes people say mad. I'm going to use green for excitement. And I'm going to use purple for fear. And again, you don't have to do all of these emotions, or you could do even more than I am. So now I've assigned different feelings to each of the cards. First, I'm going to start with yellow, and I'm writing happy on that one. So what we're going to do, now that we've matched each feeling or emotion to each paint color, we're going to start writing on them. So I am going to choose the middle color to write happy. And I spell that H A P P Y. And if you wouldn't like to spell, if you don't want to write out the emotion, you can draw what that feels like to you. So you might draw a smiley face. You don't have to know how to spell or write, or if you're just not feeling like it, even if you do know how, that's okay too. But I wrote happy on my middle yellow color. Now I'm going to think of what's a little bit less of the feeling happy. So if I'm feeling just the normal amount of happy, I'd say I'm happy. But if I'm only feeling a little bit happy, I might say, or you might hear other people say, that you feel content. And that's a little bit of a big word, huh? So I'm gonna tell you how to spell it first, and then we can talk about what that means. So it's CONTENT. So content is a little bit of a big word, and it just means a little bit happy. It means, so you might say that you feel content if you are just at home having a relaxing day. Nothing super exciting is happening, but you feel content. And I would say that's how I'm feeling right now. I don't feel a ton happy, but I do feel a little bit happy. Now we're going to think about what is more happy. So we have a little happy, medium happy. What's the most happy you could feel? The word that comes to mind for me is ecstatic. And that one's a little bit tricky to spell too. I'm hoping I'm going to get it right here. It's E C S T A T I C. And again, that's just a big fancy word that means super duper happy. So you might feel just a normal amount of happy. You might feel just a little bit happy, or you might feel super duper happy. You feel ecstatic. So now we've done one whole emotion card. And at the end, we're going to talk about how we can use these. But first, I'm going to keep going on to the next color. So the next one I'm going to do is red. And like I said before, that I'm going to write anger on the middle, or angry on the middle color. So that's ANGRY. Angry. And I drew that on the middle color because you could feel less or more angry, or you might feel it in the middle. So for less angry, I think I'm going to write irritated or maybe frustrated. I think those are similar words that mean angry, but not a ton of anger, just a little bit of anger. So I'm going to write irritated. I-R-R-I, A-T-E-D. Like I said, even I had to remember how to spell this. So if you need to look it up online or ask an adult, or if you even have a big book of words, that's called a dictionary, and that can help you spell it too. So I have angry, and a little bit of less anger is irritated. And there's no right or wrong words here. So if you don't think irritated is a little bit less than angry, you can choose a different word. So you don't have to copy my words. You can choose whatever you feel is a little bit less of anger. And you could use a different color too. You don't have to use red. I just felt like red matched what I think anger feels like. Now we're going to do what more anger feels like. So I'm going to write furious. You might feel furious. That's F-U-R-I-O-U-S. Furious is when you're feeling really, really angry. So if you're only feeling a little bit angry, you might feel irritated. You can feel just regular angry, or you might feel extra angry, furious. Let's do another color. So I'm going to do blue next, and I chose blue to mean sad. So I'm going to write that in the middle blue, S-A-D, sad. When I feel just a little bit sad, what would a word for that be? I have to brainstorm on that one. What is just a little bit sad? Maybe disappointed. That's another bit of a big word. It's spelled D-I-S-A-P-P-O-I-N-T-E-D. I almost couldn't fit that word on here. I had to make my letter small at the end. Disappointed is a little bit sad. Now I'm going to think about most sad. I think the most sad I feel is devastated. And we'll talk about what that means in a minute. You spell it D-E-V-A-S-T-A-T-E-D. Devastated feels like this dark blue to me. I might feel a little sad, feeling disappointed, just normal sad, or devastated, a lot of sad. I have two more colors. You might have more or less than me. So I'm going to do green for excited. That's my middle letter. My middle color. E-X-C-I-T-E-D. Excited for my middle color. Just a little bit of excited, I think would be, I've got to brainstorm on that one too. Eager. I'm going to say eager is just a little bit excited. So if you, and that's spelled E-A-G-E-R. Say you have a little thing tomorrow that you're excited about, but you're not super excited. You might be eager to go do that thing. What if you're the most excited in the world? We're going to put that at the bottom. That's a good question. What would that be? What would a word for the most excited you've ever felt be? I might need to look that one up. And that's something that you can do. If you can't think of all these words in your head, that's okay. So I'm going to look up online, and you can have an adult help you with this. Synonym for excited. Synonym means a word that means the same thing. So I'm looking up synonym for excited so that I can think of what even more excited would be. And so on the internet, it's telling me at the very top some other words that might mean excited. I see thrilled, and I think that's extra excited. So I'm going to write thrilled T-H-R-I-L-L-E-D. Thrilled. Eager, excited, thrilled. And I'm going to do my last card, and then we're going to talk about how to use these and what you can do with them. So I'm using this for fear. So in the middle, I'm going to write afraid. A-F-R-A-I-D. If I was feeling only a little bit afraid, I'm going to write that word at the light shade of purple. I'm going to write nervous. N-E-R-V-O-U-S. So a little bit afraid might feel like nervous. What would a lot of afraid feel like? I think the word that describes a lot of fear is terrified. T-E-R-R-I-F-I-E-D. So I have nervous, afraid, terrified. So if I'm just feeling medium amount of fear, I might feel afraid. If I'm feeling a little bit afraid, I might feel nervous. If I'm feeling really, really afraid, I might feel terrified. So I have all of my cards done now. You might have more to do, and that's totally okay. Or you might have already finished. And again, you don't have to use the same colors as I am using, and you don't even have to use the same words. So now that we have these, we can now use them to describe how we're feeling. So sometimes it's hard to put into words how you're feeling in a moment, and having these around can help. So you might see all of these on like your table or wherever you're going to keep these, maybe in your backpack. And if you're feeling one of these feelings, you can point to it to let someone else know. So say you're feeling really, really sad, and it's hard to say that with your words. You could pull this out and show somebody and point to it to describe that you're feeling not light blue, not medium blue, but really deep blue, sad. And that was devastated that I wrote on here. Another thing that we can do is just use them to think about our emotions on our own. You don't have to point and show somebody. You can just use it to think about what you're feeling right now. So maybe you don't know the feeling that you're feeling. So you can put these all out on your table. I'm going to show you here so that you can see it on my table. But let me turn them right way around so you can read them. So say you don't know what you're feeling, but you know it's maybe somewhere in between afraid and sad. Maybe you feel disappointed and nervous. You can think about your emotions on the scale of the color. So maybe you don't know the word, but you know that you're not feeling medium afraid, you're feeling just a little bit. Then you might use the word nervous. And that can help you put a name to those emotions you're feeling inside, which can sometimes help me feel a lot better, actually. When I know what to say or what to name my emotion, I feel that it doesn't feel quite so overwhelming. Another thing that you could do is use these to play. So say you're playing with a doll or an action figure or a stuffed animal. How are they feeling while you're playing with them? Maybe your stuffed animal feels ecstatic. They don't feel a little bit happy or medium. They feel the most happy they could because maybe you're playing with them and they get to do something they really, really love or they've been looking forward to forever. Then they might feel ecstatic. But maybe your doll feels thrilled that they get to do that too. So they're not just a little bit excited or medium, they're super duper excited. You could use these to play. And I think that's really fun. They kind of remind me of the emotions in Inside Out, how each of the emotions in the character's brain has a color. That's how these remind me of too. And I think that that movie is really playful, and it's fun to use these to play too. Let's see. Another thing is that I think that you can use these to figure out how to feel even more or less of an emotion. So say you're feeling sad, just a medium amount. How can you move to a lighter shade and feel a little bit better? What are some things that make you feel a little bit less sad? Some things that I can think of for me would be talking to someone who's my friend or my family member, or doing something that makes me happy. So I really like to dance. And if I'm feeling sad, sometimes if I do a dance to a song or two, I feel less sad. I might not feel all the way medium or dark sad. I might feel lighter. And that's something that these really help me to know how much sad I'm feeling, and then maybe try to feel a little bit less sad if I'm feeling up to it. But you can do the same thing for other emotions that you want to feel more of. So say you feel content, what's something you can do to feel happy or ecstatic? You can feel even more happy. Again, those things might be doing a dance or reading a book you really like, or seeing a friend that day. And I think that this is a really good way to think of things that people might call coping skills. So it's things that you do that make you feel better. I really, really hope that you enjoyed doing this activity with me. I hope it's helped you reflect on how you're feeling tonight. So again, and also, sorry, before we go, I want to mention that you can feel multiple emotions at once. So you might feel content, but still a little bit nervous at the same time. You might even feel a little bit happy and sad at the same time too. And that's totally normal. You can feel multiple emotions at once, and a lot of people do. And I just think that that's something worth mentioning too. You don't have to pick just one card that you're feeling from. You can pick all of them, or two or three. So I think that's important to mention as well. And I didn't want to leave before talking about that. But I really hope that you enjoyed creating this with me and talking about our feelings, and talking about how to use these to talk about our own feelings, asking how someone else is feeling, even playing with these. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time with Get Your Play Online. Bye, everybody.